Hello dear readers and subscribers. With a new year, it is time to achieve new goals, or perhaps realize some old ones. Becoming a professional, successful artist is perhaps on top of the list of so many creative individuals. However, this is easier said than done, of course, considering the tremendous amount of artists and the limited amount of collectors and exhibition opportunities. But before we can even try to beat those odds, we need to have the right information. We need the right strategy. Therefore, in this video, I will argue the 3 key ingredients to become a successful artist in 2024. Let's get started. First and foremost, it is also important to briefly define success. Here at CAI, success means success in the highest realms of the art world. So it means that we pursue a career with gallery representation, where we get critical validation, exhibitions at institutions, and so forth. By doing so, we can have a decent, long-lasting income, have critical recognition, have our art seen in actual exhibition spaces by actual people in the flesh, have conversations with them, and also contribute on the ongoing debate of contemporary art. For others, being a successful artist can be anything. It can be simply the joy of creating, having a tremendous online following, selling your art online, simply making a living. So depending on your goal, of course, your strategy would be different. So if you're in doubt if this career strategy or if this form of success that we pursue here at this platform with CAI is the right one for you, make sure to watch our video on the different career paths for artists next. Now, before diving into those 3 key ingredients for success, it is also important to answer the question why so many artists are failing to enter the art world. Besides the statistical imbalance of the amount of artists and the amount of collectors, that the art market cannot absorb all the art that is being created, the competition is one thing. However, there is another more pertinent reason why so many artists are failing to find their way into the art world and get access to top-tier art collectors and high-value exhibition venues. The art world consists of numerous unwritten rules, and this is exactly what this channel is talking about. Things that you need to know to enter the art world to become successful, but that nobody is telling you. And you either need to have someone on the inside, or you'll have to learn it the hard way and have to figure it out yourself, if you even manage to figure it out, because it is not that easy. This inaccessibility of information is, of course, a very common issue here, and it results in a lot of frustration and also an enormous gap between the art world and beginning artists. And in the process of figuring out, most likely as you're doing at this very moment, you're trying to figure it out via online resources. Think of art blogs, YouTube videos such as this one, or even some publications, some books. However, the amount of false information is simply stupendous online. From art blogs to YouTube gurus here, they all want to make you very, very rich and very, very fast. Or they give you advice that does not have any impact or is not actionable. In short, the advice is inadequate, and the credentials of the people who are formulating this advice is not how it should be. For instance, here on YouTube, everyone who wants to make you very, very rich, very, very fast is actually giving you some false promises, but this is actually giving them success with their channel. Clickbait will result in more views will result in more revenue, and by doing so, the only credentials they have is the success of their channel, but not really having actually made it as an artist in the art world. Even books published by renowned art publishers or some reputable art blogs provide false information. Some common examples of advice that always fail is, for instance, open an account on an online art marketplace such as Saatchi to sell your art, but nobody is buying your art. Or to invest time and money to open a web shop on your site and write an irresistible artist statement, but once more without success. Or to contact galleries to collaborate with them, but only see that nobody is responding to those emails. To start a crowdfunding, only to find out that only your close family and friends are supporting you. To sell merchandise via print-on-demand stores in which you reduce your art to a decorative design and still see no results. Or to go along with Instagram and TikTok trends to grow an audience but only see an increase in followers but not in sales or exhibitions. Stop trying all these things that do not work and that are actually harmful for your credibility and artistic integrity. Here with CAI, it has become my personal mission, thanks to the YouTube channel, to make those unwritten rules accessible to everyone. And here we combine actual in-field experience from myself as an artist, but also as the director in contact with various other successful artists, and having run an art gallery, we can combine everything, provide this kaleidoscopic approach, supported also by career data and proven strategies to solve this issue once and for all, to level the playing field and give you advice that is actually actionable. Now, how can we become successful in 2024? In a nutshell, there are 3 key ingredients to become a successful artist. And first and foremost, it is of course the art. Despite what people might say or think, 50% of your success depends on your art. Some argue that it's all about who you know and not what you create. And although your network is the second key ingredient for success on this list, art always comes first, and great art will always prevail. This in itself is of course also a hot topic, because what is good art and who is allowed to decide what good art is? Numerous artists became tremendously successful simply because people adore their work, and there is a natural demand for it. Galleries and institutions notice this natural demand and simply increase the amount of eyeballs, and by doing so, the artist can continue to validate and consolidate their position in the art world. People often argue that it's the galleries that are deciding what great art is. But in the first place, it is done by the people. Galleries and critics are of course an important catalyst to really accelerate this process of success. However, first and foremost, there needs to be good art that evokes a response among the people, among the public. Never underestimate the power of the people, and never overestimate the power of galleries. Don't use this as an excuse why it's not working out for you, and give it your all, give it your very best, and continue to work hard, because in the end, great art prevails. It is of course impossible here to explain you in just a couple of sentences or paragraphs what great art is and how you can achieve it. However, here are a few very important pointers. Great art is contemporary art, and please note that some artworks are more contemporary than others. To become a contemporary artist, you must understand contemporary art. Create relevant, refreshing, poignant art, transcending the decorative or the visual spectacle. If you enjoy painting a landscape like Turner, please note that this is not very new or very exciting today, no matter how beautiful or skillful the painting is. An artist has to be more than a craftsperson. That is what distinguishes arts from crafts. Great art is either collectible or critical, and is part of a greater story, which is the artist's oeuvre. Make sure to tell a story that is consistent, visually or conceptually. Pursue natural recognizability by delving deeper and deeper into what makes your art yours, and yours only. Learn from the masters. Go through the represented artists of the best art galleries in the world and select artists you genuinely like. Use them as a reference or a benchmark to learn from. The second key ingredient, as we already have mentioned, is your network. And I believe that 30% of your success depends on your network. Remaining silent in your studio as an ivory tower won't work. You have to participate in the art world. Because the art world is marked by synergetic collaborations and organic connections. We can never predict where our next show or sale will come from, but it always comes from your network, directly or indirectly. A collector with one of your works promotes you to an art critic, for instance, who is about to curate a biennial, or a fellow artist you have been supporting returns the favor by introducing you to their gallery director. Or for instance, your gallery's PR efforts result in an interview in an art magazine, resulting in a new show abroad, etc. Who you know and where they are matters. So it is important to invest in people. Our network is something we can control and have to cultivate ourselves. This might sound a bit manipulative or fake, but in reality it doesn't have to be, not at all. Engaging with art enthusiasts is actually great fun. Visiting the studios of fellow artists and having a chat about art, or visiting the festive openings of their shows and having a drink with the attendees. Meeting new people, making new memories. This sounds very intensive and exhausting, especially for introverts. However, you'll reap the fruits later. Make sure to target your network in a geographically interesting region. For instance, the video we have created on the top 30 art cities. And you can also have a look at our video how you can participate in those art scenes without actually having to live there. Don't get stuck in an island where there is no mobility to grow further and further into the art world. Do not focus too much on galleries and collectors, but engage with the artist first. Engage with the art itself, and everything else will come naturally. Do not start to cold call galleries or collectors and impose yourself as an artist. Don't talk about yourself all the time unless you're asked. And when you are asked, you need to be ready. Which brings us to the next key ingredient. The final 20% that can make the difference between success and failure is your artist profile. And in my humble opinion, with this artist profile, there is no valid excuse why you shouldn't take care of these things that you need to take care of. Your artist profile consists of all the publicly available material and your presence or behavior as an artist. There are several things you can and should take care of, and here is a brief recital of the most important ones. You need to have an industry-approved artist resume, following the archetypical CV structure for artists. You need to have a professional artist bio. Or you also need to have an industry-approved artist website with the archetypical structure for artist websites. You also need a professional Instagram account, which will also be an important tool to network with later, so the appearance of your feed matters. There are a number of things you can do as well to make your profile more appealing and more credible. For instance, creating high-end installation views of your works. Improving your online presence and your Google search results so that people don't end up seeing an empty page. You can also increase your credibility by having a decent social media following. And to conclude, there are also a number of documents and tools that you need to have or could have to professionalize your art practice and profile. Think of your portfolio or catalog with available works that you need to have ready for when a gallery or collector inquires for work. An inventory of your oeuvre, essential contact lists to cultivate your network, the artist gallery contract for a consignment agreement or for a representation agreement, a certificate of authenticity to go along with sold works, etc., etc. Please note that here at CAI we try to provide all these tools in our career tools page at Advice for Artists. And my goal is to have the complete list ready by summer. Feel free to have a look now at what we have available already. Everything is at a very, very modest price. I want this to be as affordable as possible for everyone, and it really helps you to professionalize your practice. So to conclude, all these little bullet points and all these things we have discussed among these 3 ingredients is a lot of information and a lot of ground to cover. Way too much to cover in this video. Therefore, I would like to invite you to join us on our journey here in 2024. So make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel or for our newsletter to stay posted for new career tools, but also for our very exciting upcoming online course for artists. By doing so, we can grow together and art will prevail. For now, you can find an overview if you navigate to the link in the description with Advice for Artists on contemporaryartissue.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to watch our video on career paths for artists next. Support us on Patreon and please consider subscribing to stay posted for more contemporary art. Bye.